Hey guys, Ariel here from Tik Tok Cookies Design. So I got another order for my non-glittered beach tumbler cup, and then so I wanted to share with you guys how I make mine. It's actually fairly simple. You just gotta learn to be, I guess, to not overdo it, which is kind of hard. I know it's hard for me, but you just gotta trust the process. So anyways, let's get started. With the first, well, it's not really the first step because the first step is to prep your tumbler. So I have sanded my tumbler. I like to use 180 grit, but that's just me. You can use whatever grit you want. So I just sanded it, washed it with my Dawn dish soap, and then dried it real quick, and then I painted it with a white matte spray paint. I use Rustoleum. That's my favorite brand. So here it is. I like to use white as my base for the non-glittered tumblers, and as you can see, even though I used the 180 grit, you can't really see any of the scratches through the paint. That's why I use it, and it makes me feel like it adheres more because it's like totally scratched up once I'm done. If you guys want, I can make a video on how I prep my tumblers. Just let me know, or maybe I'll just put it up there. But anyways, let's get started. So prep tumbler, and so for this one, for the sand, I like to use Latte. It's my alcohol ink, Holtz. And then for the blue, well, I guess the sea, sun, or sky and stuff, I like to use Holtz Pool. So I have the first one that I made, I happen to just have these two on hand, and then so that's why, and I liked how it looks, so that's why I started just using it. And then I have my little spray of alcohol, so that I like to use and spritz on there. Then I have my brush. These are just the brushes that I use. As you can see, they've been used quite a few times. I think I got these from, I want to say, the Dollar Tree. It came with like a 3-pack or something. So anyways, the first thing I do is, instead of base coating, I'm doing the base with spray paint like I normally do for my glitter tumblers. I like to use alcohol ink. I just think it just gives it a better effect. Okay, so I usually just put it on there, take my brush. I hope you guys can see this. I'm still getting used to my GoPro. We actually ended up getting a GoPro because we felt like our phones did really well when we needed it, but just felt like the GoPro would just give you guys a better quality. I just hope that I'm still in the camera while I'm doing this. But okay, so I do a little bit up top too. It's okay, it doesn't have to be perfect or anything because we are still gonna cover this with so what I use is acrylic paint over it, and it comes out really nice. Well, at least in my opinion, I think it comes out really nice. So I hope you guys like it too. Okay, so try not to do what I did. You can see the spots right there. So when you go too fast, when flipping your alcohol ink over, it tends to do that. It kind of squirts it out. So just try to go a little slow so that you don't have like random squirts everywhere. And oh, I put down parchment paper because I am working on my dining table right now, and I don't want any of the alcohol ink to get on there, so I just put it down. I have like so much parchment paper here at home, and then so that's what I usually use. And so I spritz it a little bit just to kind of even it out with my alcohol. I did get my alcohol ink, my alcohol on Amazon. It was like, I want to say $25 or something like that for a whole gallon of it. And it's the medical grade kind, so it's like 90, I want to say it's like 99% alcohol. And I bought that gallon like a year ago. I just happened to score some during like the pandemic and stuff, and then so it's just been sitting there. Well, not just sitting there, but you know, I still have a lot. You just kind of want to try to blend it in. You don't have to do too much. Like a lot of times I kind of just leave it like this. If you guys can see it, I feel like it gives it a little bit more dimension because, you know, when you go to the beach, the sand isn't like a uniform, like one color. Some parts are a little darker, some parts are lighter, and then so I kind of like how it looks that way. And then once we put our what do you call this, acrylic paint, it covers up a lot too. So I think I'm gonna leave that the way it is. Put this aside. So some people like to use like plates or coasters or something to put their alcohol ink on, and then just kind of like dab it with their brush and then put it on the cup. I don't do that. I usually just go directly onto my cup and then just let it do its thing. So I put it all over my cup. And you can use whatever blue, green, or whatever color you want. This is just the color that I like to use. That's what's so awesome about making cups, is you are free to pretty much use whatever color you want and design it however you want. There's really no right or wrong. I know it looks like a total mess, but once we're done, like completely done with it, I think you guys will be happy with how it looks. So this customer has actually bought the same exact cup from me before, but I had like a little different design on it. And then so, and she's been my repeat customer for like ever since I started, to be honest. So I mean, so it's kind of awesome. This is the first time that she's asked for the same exact cup though, so that was kind of cool. So it just means that she must have really liked the first one. So I'm gonna probably go ahead and fast forward through this so that you guys don't have to completely watch me just covering up my whole cup. Actually, you know, I'm almost done, so I'm not gonna fast forward. What was I thinking? Okay, so don't forget to also get the top part, okay? If you want, you can wear gloves because it does kind of splatter everywhere. I don't. I just wash my hands right away, and since it is alcohol ink, I I spray my hand with my alcohol and then it usually goes away right away. Just kind of make sure that your cup is mostly covered. You do have to work semi-fast because alcohol inks dry like super duper fast, like within seconds. Okay. Oh. But if you do make a mistake, the awesome part is that you can actually just spritz it with alcohol and it makes it run again. You know, I think I want to make the sand a little bit higher, so I'll just add more brown. See, there I go again, doing it too fast, making it splash everywhere. I think that's better. And then let me add more blue. It's okay if it overlaps a little, because when you're at the beach, the water always crashes into the sand and there's really no, like, it blends in, so you do want it to kind of blend in a little bit. Okay. And we are going to still cover this with acrylic paint, so don't worry, it'll look fine later on. So I like to, once I have it for the most part covered, I like to take my alcohol ink and just go in and just spritz here and there. Kind of makes like that bubbly color. So it's up to you if you want to keep it that way. Some parts I keep it that way, but not necessarily the whole thing. This is just so I can get my alcohol ink to move a little bit more to like the white area. I do like the look of it like that, but maybe not in the middle of the sea. But to each its own. If you like it, leave it. Because it will also get covered a lot with the acrylic paint. So this is just kind of make it. I know that you can still see a lot of white, but trust me, later on that will not necessarily disappear, but you'll see the effect will be really pretty. All right. There. As you can see, the way my brush strokes have no rhyme or reason. It's just random, kind of like the sea. It's pretty random. Just gives it like a different dimension, you know. You can always add more, so less is better. Because then you don't want to do too much that you're like, ah, shoot, now I got to start over. So for me, I usually do like as less as I could, and then just go back in and add more. So the next step after this dries is actually putting on your first coat of epoxy. So we're gonna kind of flood it because we're going to drip epoxy, like the colored epoxy, on top of it. So you want the epoxy to be able to run, well, move. Okay. So I think I am good with my alcohol ink right now. So this is what it looks like for now. And I hope you guys could see the whole thing. Okay. So there's the first step of this. Like I said, the next step is to put the epoxy, on top of it, and then do the acrylic, drip the acrylic on it to make like kind of like that swirl pattern. But I usually like to wait at least like 12 hours before I epoxy alcohol ink, just so it doesn't, well, for me it's more of a I don't want it to run, or I don't want it to change colors, you know. I kind of want it to be completely dry so that I don't have to worry about it at all. Usually I wait at least, like I said, 12 hours, or sometimes I even set it overnight and then do the next step the next day. But that's only because when I did one of my wood grains, when I first started, it actually, my wood grain got ruined because it started moving as I was like putting my epoxy on, and then so that was tragic. But anyway, so I'll be back, you guys. I'll try to be back like maybe 12 hours. If not, then I'll get back to it tomorrow morning. All right, so I'll be back. Okay, so my cup is ready for the first layer of epoxy. It's already completely dry, but I haven't mixed my epoxy, so I'm going to do that off camera. But I wanted to show you guys what I'm going to use for the second step. So I'm gonna take the same blue that I used for this part, which was Tim Holtz Pool. Oh, sorry. And then I'm thinking of also adding a little bit of Pinata's Baja Blue to give it, oh, sorry guys, it's like not focusing. Better now. Okay, there you go. Baja Blue. It's a bit darker. I just kind of wanted to give it a little bit of depth, I guess. And then I'm also going to be using Pinata's White. So I got these. This came in a set of like 8 or something, and off of Amazon. So I'll post a link down below if you guys are interested in that. And then I'm also going to be using, so normally I would use like a lighter brown for my sand, but I couldn't find my lighter brown. I think I might have finished it. So anyways, I went ahead and I'm gonna use this one. It's real brown. I got this like at Walmart. It's like not focusing. Sorry guys. I got this from Walmart. It was like 50 cents or something for the bottle. And I'm gonna mix it with my white acrylic paint, also from Walmart, for like 50 cents. And then so that should create a lighter brown. So I already put the acrylic paint into my little cups, which I'm going to put epoxy in it later once I mix it, just to get it prepped. Since I am using a fast set, I got to work really fast to do this. And then for the blue, I'm going to use Cobalt blue, also from Walmart. So I just put a little bit in my medicine cup. And then we're also going to need white for like this part right here, and a little bit for the waves and stuff. And then so I did put a little bit of the white acrylic paint in this, and I'm going to add the white alcohol ink, but I don't do that until after I've put the epoxy in, just because alcohol ink dries so fast, so I don't want it to just evaporate. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix my epoxy off camera, so I'll be right back. All right, so I mixed about 90 ml of epoxy off camera, and you'll see that my epoxy has a lot of bubbles because I mix it like it's cake batter. But it's okay because I'm gonna hit it with my heat gun after, so all the bubbles will disappear. So I'm mixing my epoxy with the brown. This will be for the sand. I think I want it a little bit darker, so I'll go ahead and add a little bit more brown. Just make sure not to add too much acrylic in your epoxy, because it does, I've noticed for myself at least, that it does kind of affect the curing process. So one time when I first started doing this, I actually put too much acrylic and it did not cure properly, and it was still sticky after like 24 hours. So definitely don't put too much. I think I'm okay with that brown for the sand. So this is just baby wipe, just cleans the epoxy right off. So I'll go ahead and mix my blue. I think I want a little bit more. Always do the least that you can possibly do, so that because it's always easier to add than to take away. So I think I'm good with that blue. It's actually really pretty. Okay, I gotta work a little faster because I can feel the epoxy warming up. Okay, so for the last one, which is the white, I'm gonna add a couple drops of the white alcohol ink. And I'm gonna go ahead. This has the white acrylic paint, and now I just added a little bit of alcohol ink to it, also white. Just mix that up. So for this process, you can actually use a popsicle stick if you want to. I just happen to have a metal stick, which I got from Amazon. I think it was like a pack of 6 for $7.99 or something like that. But I'll also post the link down below if you guys are interested in that. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my cup that had the rest of my epoxy. I had to mix it in a red cup because I don't have a big enough medicine cup for 90 ml. So I just epoxy all around. Like I told you guys before, I usually, when I epoxy, I like to turn off my turner because I don't like seeing a lot of epoxy drip. But that's just me. I'm actually going to do a little bit of a flood coat for the first layer. Just so when I add the acrylic paint and stuff, it has a little bit of room to move around. I'm also going to be using my heat gun for this. If you guys don't have a heat gun to help the acrylic and the epoxy kind of move around, you can also use a blow dryer. I have seen other people do that. So I won't be using my torch for this step like I normally would, just because I'm already going to be using my heat gun, so there's no need. It'll pop the micro bubbles just as well. Okay, don't forget the bottom. That's a lot. Alright, so I still have a little bit left, so I'll just, so I don't waste it, just put it on there. I feel it getting warm. Means I gotta work faster. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna go with our brown first. You see all the bubbles on top? Just gonna put some at the bottom. So I like to kind of just layer it up like that. Okay. So you'll still be able to kind of see the alcohol ink, which is fine because it will actually give it a little bit of depth, make it a little bit more realistic. You can see since it's fast set, you can kind of see that it's starting to be a little slightly tacky, but that's okay. Don't forget your bottom. Better move my tray a little bit that way. Sorry guys, my phone is going off like crazy right now. I know right now it probably looks like, I don't know about this, but trust me, it'll come out good. Okay, I think I'm good with that. Alrighty. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and take my glove off. Okay, so we're gonna take the alcohol ink that we use for the base. And just put, this is Pool by Tim Holtz. Just put a couple dabs on there. Just be careful to do more than, sorry, 1 drop at a time, because it might like, it does, as you can see, it runs really well on the cup. And if you just do a stream, it'll just get all over the place. So I like to do just 1 drop at a time. I'll also put a little bit of Baja Blue Pinata alcohol ink. Don't forget that it's easier to add more if you want more later. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab the blue epoxy acrylic mixture that we did earlier. And I'm just gonna take that and just go around. Put it all over the place. I know it looks like a hot mess right now, but it's okay. It'll look better later. Just randomly anywhere and everywhere. Don't forget the white. So I'll leave it at that for now and add a little bit of the white acrylic alcohol ink epoxy mixture from earlier. I like to put some down here. I know it looks like a total hot mess. I like to put it where like a big concentration of blue is, just because once you hit it with the heat gun, it kind of helps make the swirls. So as you can see, I'm just randomly putting it anywhere and everywhere. I'm gonna add more blue. Okay, now I'm going to take my heat gun. So I also got this from Amazon. It's just a Black Decker heat gun. And I'm going to just point it up. Help all that move. Sometimes it takes a minute for that to happen. Starting to kind of move. And I like to go down also. You really get that moving. And you'll see that it'll start dripping at the bottom. Okay, and then at this point, this is when I decide, do I want to add more? Am I good? And I feel like I want to add more. Especially the white. I want more white in there. Here and there. You can see my, because it's a fast set. It's getting tacky, which is okay. Because I just wanted to put a little bit more. So I definitely, if you're a beginner, I definitely do not recommend using fast set, because as you can see, it really does get tacky really fast. I do have like a gallon of non-fast set epoxy, but I usually just use that on molds and not cups. So I wanted to show you guys that if you do decide to go with a fast set epoxy, that this is how fast you have to work. Even faster. Okay, I'm just gonna hit it with my heat gun one more time. Because I'm actually really liking that. So I don't want to move my design around too much, because it will still move a little bit as it turns, but I do want to get the micro bubbles. Maybe just a little bit of movement with some parts. Okay. I am liking how it's looking. But if you feel like you're not totally in love with the design, then you can always just add more or heat it with the heat gun some more, and then it'll really help move it around. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and leave mine alone because I like the swirls that's going on up here. I like that part right there too. Oh, I love that wave right there. And right there's really a lot of this part right here. Oops. Oh, don't do that. Let me just melt that a little bit. I didn't realize how close my hand was. Yeah, this part right here, that one's so pretty, guys. Okay, so my GoPro, it like totally died on me on the last segment where I was going to close it out, but then it just left me, well, I think it left off with me accidentally touching the epoxy. So anyways, I just wanted to show you guys the finished product. So here it is. So this customer wanted like a speedboat type thing with a pirate flag, some seagulls, as you can see. I'm not gonna show you guys the name part just because it does have a bad word. And then so I'll try to, okay, so they also wanted turtles, just in case you guys are watching this with your kids or something. And so I put like a mommy or daddy turtle with a baby. And then on the other side is the other parent. So they kind of meet. So I did not alter this at all after the video cut off. I just let it spin for 4 hours, which is because I'm using fast set. It takes only about 4 hours for it to completely dry, and I could put the next coat on. So this was just all the waves. Like this part is like one of my favorites, right by the turtles. So like all the waves, it was just, oh, sorry too. That was just created from it like spinning. So sometimes you really just have to trust it. There it is. Let me see if I could find a part that I accidentally touched. Oh, actually, yeah, it's right here. So there's a part that I accidentally touched. There's the big blob of it. Touched it from here. So yeah, so hopefully you guys like this non-glittered beach tumbler. I think it came out really nice. I think she's gonna be happy with it, but this is like her second or third non-glittered beach tumbler order, so I'm pretty sure she'll love it. So if you guys like what you see, go ahead and hit subscribe at the bottom. We're also on Facebook. We have a Facebook group called 3 Tough Cookies Design. We show a lot of our glitter on that, and also we're on Instagram and TikTok. So follow us and we'll follow you guys. So yeah, the next tutorial will be about like how to ombre, like glitter ombre a tumbler. I know like it's very basic, but I feel like it's always good to have a basic video, just because there's a lot of us that are veterans at doing this and stuff, but there are also a lot of beginners. I'm seeing more and more of people like venturing into making tumblers, which is awesome, you guys. Like, for me, it's really fun. I mostly do it for fun because I enjoy doing it. And I'm thinking about doing a tutorial also. I know it's a little late because it's not summer anymore, but I mean, I live in Southern California, so we don't really get the change of weather here. Like, it's 90 degrees today and it's gonna be October already. But I'll probably do a sunset beach tumbler. This one's my personal one. I use this every single day. And the tangram right there. I still haven't finished it, but that's gonna be my sports tumbler because all my kids play sports, and it just so happens that one of my kids' leagues, well, 2 of my kids' leagues, their colors are red, white, and blue, and they're my oldest daughter's high school, and the second one's junior high also has red, white, and blue as their color, so I think it'll be perfect as a sports tumbler for myself. But I'm planning on doing a tutorial also on that. I haven't figured out the theme yet. I'm thinking maybe Christmas, or I don't have a fall tumbler yet, my personal fall tumbler, so I might do that. But and also another thing coming up are fabric tumblers. I've been like obsessed with making those, so these are different things that's going to be coming up pretty soon. We are in the process of editing the ombre, the glitter ombre tumbler, so keep an eye out for that. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on all the tutorials that we're planning on putting up here. Okay, well, I hope everyone has a great day. Hope you liked the video, and I hope it helps you out. Thanks!